Men have to resist passivity. We rely on God for the strength, for His grace, but it's still, you gotta get your butt out of bed. Don't let fear and worry get you. It'll keep you up all night. And that's what the Bible says, take every thought captive.
Victor Marx, former Marine, 7-time black belt, and founder of All Things Possible Ministries. From rescuing ISIS captives to fighting human trafficking, he's a real-life Rambo bringing hope where it's needed most.
How did you start getting into mission work?
You're a professional operator. I'm a high-risk missionary. There's a difference.
You share that story, how there was no external weapons that you had, so your biggest weapon was faith.
We had stuff to get into an ISIS confinement camp. 2 of the kids were born inside an ISIS facility. The girls would have been sex slaves, boys turned into conscript for ISIS. We just deal with real life stuff.
God's called you to do the missions, you exploring different places of the world. What are some of those lessons?
Greatest thing that I do in ministry or my life is called a retooling prayer.
In our culture, Latinos, if we protect and provide, we're doing our job.
I thought protecting and providing was the same as loving, and it's not. Love is what motivates us, but it casts out all fear. The key is to stay balanced.
Wow, that's deep. So a couple things I want us to touch on today. It'll be some of your mission work, leadership, and then I just recently got married, so I want to talk about marriage. We just finished Better Together course. It was awesome, and it was cool to see your sense of humor there too, because I know you can come off as a very strong and yeah, but you were showing that side too. It was pretty cool.
Good,
Fernando, and if you could share, my brother, how we came. Because thanks to you, we found Awaken Church, and then you're who invited us to emerge, and then 2 years later
Yeah, as Andy said, it is truly an honor to be able to be here and just kind of share a conversation with you. In 2022, we moved to San Diego, so we actually shared an apartment in San Diego, me and Andy.
right on.
And we found Awaken Church, and through Awaken, we found the Emerge Men's Conference. And so last year was the first year, 2024, that me and Andy went, and we went the most unprepared you can think of.
Right.
Because
we slept in the back of
the back of the Ford Explorer. Yeah, so we went unprepared, but it was life-changing for us that year. And so I remember we went back and we're like, we have to have, as much as the gentlemen of our company come, because this was, there's no way we can even go back and share this. It just has to be experienced.
Yeah,
that is true.
And
very difficult to share.
This year, about 10 to 12
yeah.
of our
leaders or men
joined us. And my son, my 12-year-old son. And so my 12-year-old son, Julian, he was like, that's a real life Superman right there.
Yeah, that's what we were all.
Wow.
We're like, that is what a real life superhero looks like. Seriously.
It's humbling to hear that.
It's crazy.
So it's been a great journey. It's been a great experience. And that's how we came across you. And so now we're here and
it's been a little crazy, huh?
Yeah,
it was a long shot for me to reach out and send a message and see if I can get a hold of your team.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that would be freaking incredible. But it's one of those things that it's God's things.
But what you resisted passivity, because I think the natural inclination for man is just to go, oh, well, it's too far of a reach.
Yeah.
And what's the worst that can happen? No.
Yeah.
No. It's like, it ain't like you're being shot at. It's just wrong timing, not now, not a good fit. So I tell you what, hats off to you, both of you gents, for your tenacity to press forward, or we wouldn't be here. And I think that's the first bit of advice I can give. Men have to resist passivity and accept the responsibility of going, if you want something, well, you got to get it done. Yeah. We rely on God for the strength, for His grace, but it's still, you got to get your butt out of bed, right? You gotta go and face the possible rejection. It's like when you were dating. It's like.
I heard the Lolo story here a little bit ago. Where was that her name? I think it was a Latina. It was on your book.
Which one?
There was. It was someone that's like, you started working. I think it was at I don't know if it was a restaurant, but point is, they're like, oh yeah, no, you can't get a hold of her. She's like kind of famous.
Oh yeah.
And then you waited in the back.
Oh my gosh, that was in Mexico. That was in Mexico.
But then it started getting serious. You're like, okay, never mind.
White boy down in Acapulco, and she was an entertainer, big singer.
Yeah.
Big platforms for I remember thinking, oh my gosh. And she was actually just very sweet.
Yeah.
She was young, but I wanted to meet her. I had that determination. So yeah, I waited outside the back entrance, and security's like, what are you doing there? I'm like, well, I ain't no threat. Just want to meet her. Ended up getting to meet her, and met her parents and all that. And, you know, even then, I wasn't a believer, but I had a moral code. And she was so sweet and so kind and very beautiful, but there was an innocence about her, and I didn't take advantage of her. I refused to, and I could have. So I honored her and her future husband, if that makes sense. So,
Yes, it does.
but yeah, that was ay mamacita chula.
I didn't know that you lived out there or that you were out there for.
I did. It was a pretty wild time. Yeah, there's always been a sense of adventure in me, but it's just been more that I just want to experience life.
Yeah.
And boy, when you get born again, then you can have God's direction.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why I didn't become a Christian. Because I'm like, man, some of these examples I saw in Christian church, I'm like, these men, Little did I know it's the complete opposite.
Yeah. Question for you, because this is always something that's interesting to me. So I've been doing quite a little bit of traveling the last few years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard not to. They're like, oh yeah, he's Latino, he's Mexican. What was your experience with Mexicans when you were out there? And
Okay.
I always get different.
Well, it was decades ago,
Okay.
so different era, and of course, white folks in tourist areas mean money. So there's I don't care if cartels are over it, government.
Yeah.
There's an unwritten
Yeah.
better not mess up this cash flow. So people were nice to me, but then I actually went to work for a little company, and
How long were you out there, or how long did you stay? in
several months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, several months. But what people don't know about me is I'm a reverse coconut. I'm brown on the inside, but white on the outside. My mother's side of the family's all
I remember that you
Spanish.
said yeah, but I didn't know if Spanish as a like European Spanish or
Spanish.
Latina Spanish.
Well, I would say Spain was the origin,
Yeah.
but the look is the look.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was never raised with prejudice.
Yeah. I remember that. I read that it was also a African American young gal that was watching over you guys or watching
Yeah.
you at some point. So you never felt that, even though you were.
No, I didn't. People around me, stepfathers and whatnot, did. But yeah, no, my daughter married Mexican descent, young man out of San Diego. He played baseball for San Diego State. And,
Oh, nice.
really good guy. And marriage is hard, so But they have 2 kids. I said, man, make me some little burrito babies. Man, they're too sweet. And but I remember I went to for the marriage because I married them, but I went and started meeting their family, and I met grandmother.
Yeah.
Right, and I never forget. She was like, "Welcome to our family." And I was like, "How about welcome to mine?" In my mind, I'm like, "Welcome to mine." What are you, And in conversation, she's like, "Yeah, we have a family reunion every year." I'm like, "Wow." I'm like, "We don't." My wife's side only has one every. I go, "Really? Where do y'all have it?" "Well, different place, but it's in this area." And I was just curious, like, "Well, how many come to it?" She goes, "Around 400." I was like, "Please bring me into the family." But all of this, Oscar de la Hoya is one of the family members. But everything from educated to
A little bit of everything.
everything, that's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt humbled. But it's funny when I pull out my family photos and my mom's side of the family, people are like, "Dang." I go, "Yep."
How was it? Because I saw pictures of you. You were, you
So
look.
I was a towhead as a kid. But if I stay in the sun, I get brown, really brown. And then my eyes are, I got dark eyes. So it starts to come out. But yeah, That's the thing about it. There's one race,
Yeah.
bunch of cultures, and you got to respect the cultures. One of my spiritual sons, man, for many years now, he was born in Compton, so he was a black kid, didn't have a dad, went on to Tennessee State, played ball, co-captain, and then ended up playing ball in San Diego State. I'm sorry, not San Diego State. Chargers when they were there. And he played for Raiders, Dallas, and Miami. He was a linebacker.
Very nice.
Kevin Burnett. And he was just at my birthday. But, yeah, there's you got to appreciate cultures. But, man, the race thing, I just don't get. It's like, typically I think, now, there's been prejudice. I was down south as a kid. I remember rolling into a county that said, black people, but slang words, don't enter here. And I'm like, what the heck? But I was 6th grade when I brought home a black friend from school. I remember our neighbors were just like, what the heck? That's when I was like, what's wrong? My mom was like, nothing, get in the house for good them people. My mom ended up punching one of them ladies in the face. So I think the people who struggle with racism, they're just angry people, like in general. So they're going to use that as I shared with y'all the possibility. It's pretty high that I might run for governor of the state of Colorado. I haven't said this on any shows.
You let us know when to release it.
That's
awesome.
And, there's going to be so much hate. It'll be the worst battle, 13 months, I think we would ever go through. But I just laugh because people think they know you, but they really don't. Unless you read a book, you're getting inside their heart. That was one of my favorite things to do, go into a youth prison, pull up the toughest looking kid, put a trainer gun in his hand, and say, pull the hammer back, and I tell him, I'm going to keep my hands down. You pull the trigger when you see me move. So they're pointing this pistol at me, finger on the trigger and the hammer's back. And it's a full-weighted training pistol. And I said, now, if I can get it from you, would y'all listen to me for about 20 minutes? And they are laughing because I'd be dressed, my glasses, just kind of huckleberry deal. And they laugh, and then pow! 0.8 of a second back then. It's faster now. I'm down to like 3.5 of a second. I have the weapon, pull the magazine out, and I point it back at him. And my finger's on the trigger, and then I go click, and the hammer falls. And it's followed by a bunch of profanity and laughter. But I tell them, I go, how many of you would have mistaken me in the street, rolled up on me in my little minivan, putting groceries in? They were like, yeah, man, that's crazy. I said, well, that's the same way when you start talking about Jesus Christ. You think you know him, maybe in a church, but you got to get to know him, read about him. Just like reading my book, you start learning insight, read about Jesus, who he really was when he walked this earth and is now. Then make your decision up.
How did you start getting into the mission, the mission work that you're
Well, it's nothing I ever wanted to. When I first went into ministry, I tried to be a pastor.
Oh, I love that story. I would love if you shared that story at our conference. It's so funny.
That's the one I remember the most.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, so I wasn't good at counseling. Smacked a dude around for hitting this kid.
Funny.
And the church thought I should expand my ministry elsewhere. That's another way to say we're politely firing you. But I went from that to, teaching martial arts for years and years. I was out of the Marine Corps. And then I would say my intro back into ministry was Dr. James Dobson, Focus on the Family, which I want to introduce to your generation.
Ooh.
He's one of my mentors.
Okay, we need to know who.
Oh, his name is
What is it?
Dr. James Dobson.
Okay.
He started an organization called Focus on the Family. They, And then after 20-something years, when he left there, he started another one called Family Talk. And so all you have to do is look up James Dobson Institute. And let me just tell you, this is the money right here. That organization is building and has a library of books, resources, videos, podcasts with the most timeless principles for young men, women, family men, marriage, raising children, everything you need to know, because it's timeless.
Yeah.
And he just passed away, 89 years old. And he was a boss who became a mentor, became a friend.
Wow.
And part of my responsibility is to find older lions than me. They're not toothless, but they're
but they're still lions.
They still are. And say, bring them on the Dangerous Gentleman podcast, and I'm pulling sage wisdom out of these men for y'all, because it's better to learn from somebody who's walked through the minefield, so you don't have to figure it out.
So the conference and our company name is called The Next Generation, and it's for exactly what you just said. We honor our parents, our grandparents' sacrifices so much, and we just want to pay it forward. You know, we need the older lions to pour onto us so that we don't make the same, we don't pick up the same scars.
But see, and that's the first step of wisdom. So many people discard older people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well, back in your day, it's like, hey, there's seasons of life. One thing I've always done, because I didn't really have a solid dad figure, is I knew how to hunt for men that I would say, okay, I'll eat the meat and spit out the bones. That's weird, but I like that. And that's how it started building into me through reading, watching, and meeting in person. I remember one time I was, late 20s, maybe early 30s. But I was going through a hard time. I was having a lot of mental health issues, and I was living in Hawaii. And by outward standards, I was very successful. Martial arts school, TV show, everything. But, you go through these, you go through these hard times where you're just like trying to figure certain things out in different seasons of your life. So here I am. I just decided to take a walk, and I'm walking and walking. That's why. So it'll rain on you and stop. You dry, keep walking. And I walked through, I'll never forget, the circular driveway in a covering of a high rise, which is it was an assisted living home. And there was a man outside, and he looked like he was the man in the day. You could just tell, right?
His aura.
Yeah, the way they carry themselves. I stopped, and man, I just started talking to him. He enjoyed the conversation. But gentlemen, let me tell you, he just said a handful of words to me that was exactly what I needed in that moment, that kept me on a course. And we talked about everything, his life, and then this is the last thing he said. He goes, son, you're going to make it. That's all I needed. I just needed to hear I was going to make it. And again, there are seasons in life. You guys are in the hunting, gathering, building phase of your life, which you got to get it. The key is to stay balanced. You're never not going to be busy. When people go, oh, you're too busy, I go, I was made to be busy. I was made to get it. Yeah, but I'm balanced. And one of the questions I ask older gentlemen, what would you tell a younger you? And this is what I would tell myself. Man, 90% of those things you worried about never came true. It's a waste. Don't let fear and worry get you. It keep you up all night. And I learned to go, okay, well, what if it does happen? Oh, what if I get cancer of the earlobe and I have to remove my earlobe and I'll never wear an earring again? That's a joke, people, for those of you who don't watch. Whatever, whatever the fear is. I just go, okay, I lose an earlobe. Because that worry and fear, the enemy will push over into anxiety. Oh, what if you lose your business? What if you get sued? What if you... that's the voice of the enemy. That's not even your own mind. Because whenever you hear you, what if you... That's not a self-assessment. That's not you going, okay, we got to make some changes. That's the enemy. And that's where the Bible says, take every thought captive. That's the greatest discipline. Just like essay. But I'm talking about situational awareness. The highest level of situational awareness is spiritual awareness, where you take these thoughts captive. And man, you'll get some zingers sometime. Like, bing. My bride, she could always tell back when there was a season of intense struggle. And like near about put me low functioning struggle. And yet I'd get up, I'd get out, I'd do the deal, come home, and then just struggle. And she would see me. She would go, Victor. I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you negotiating with the devil? I'm like, dang.
She knew.
Oh my gosh, I am. I'm trying to say, hey, if you leave me alone, I won't be so. That was always it. Like, I'll back off you if you just don't. The only way to do it, devil is punch him right in the throat. There's no negotiations. Kick him in the.
This is why I'm so excited for Victor to join us at the Next Gen Conference, because we'll have a lot. I mean, age-wise, you'll have your young crowd, older crowd, business owners, currently business owners that are doing extremely well financially, other business owners who are maybe struggling, and then some aspiring business owners, and others that are not even business owners, just want to get poured onto, right? And I think your message is so powerful because it can reach anybody.
Right.
And it's one of those things that I think as men at times, since we do have the responsibility of business owners or family, or we aspire to have a family, a lot of the times some of these men have a father, but maybe not the best father figure.
Right.
Other maybe don't have one. And others, maybe they're just stirred away, right?
Yeah.
And I've always found in my life, Christ was the savior.
Yeah.
Like, I have a previous divorce. We were together 12 years.
Wow.
And at the center of that marriage, of that family, it wasn't Christ. It was money and control. And then now, being married 5 years, having Christ as the center of my family, I see the difference. And it's great to have individuals like you show up at the Next Gen Conference and just be that example that I know these men, like I said, 12 of our leaders went, and it was life-changing for them. We couldn't have them stop talking about the conference for weeks and weeks.
Well, you know what? That's the one thing about y'all's generation. What I like is y'all desire and demand authenticity. Like, there ain't no slickness.
Yeah.
That was the 80s and 90s. And y'all's generation is like, if you're going to bring it, you better back it.
Yeah.
Because y'all have seen hypocrisy. And you've also seen the way of the world, what doesn't work. A perfect example, I don't even know how people stay married apart from two people in a relationship with Christ. I mean, when me and my wife were both brand new Christians, and we started off by going, even when we dated, it was like, okay, we're not going to be close. We're going to do it like the Bible. We had relationships before, but that doesn't work. That leads you. So we're going to wait. And we got sweet. The first time I held her hand was at SeaWorld. We were just down there. Again, a couple of weeks ago, we're walking. I go, right by the penguin. So I grabbed her hand. I said, actually I asked, I said, could I hold your hand? She's like, yes. And 3 months later, we're married. Because why wait? Yeah, I'm like, oh no. I want to enjoy the physical attributes of marriage. Practice having babies.
And you guys waited, is what I
did.
remember.
Yeah, we waited for intimacy until we were married.
That's awesome.
And then, you know what's amazing? Purity is something you can start anytime.
Yeah.
It's virginity is the goal, but in a very corrupt, godless culture, I thank God, I have a 20-year-old son who's a virgin, but he's so intentional. All right, we gave him a phone at 15, an iPhone. He's like, nope, that will get me in trouble. Like, he's a different sort. He's just like, right now he's actually up in a special operations community doing some very good things. But, you know, you just look at the world and do the opposite for the best chance of marriage and relationship. But in the beginning, we just said divorce is not going to be optional for us. Murder, but not divorce. So we're like,
those jokes they come in and like the word. Sometimes you would never expect it. Oh man!
I was like, did he say murder?
Yeah. Y'all are like,
sometimes you catch us off guard.
I'm like, there's a pause. There's a pause. Like, oh, I don't think we can murder.
It's like the pillow joke.
Yeah.
You're like, you people, what are you guys thinking?
Well, what I've learned is that, you know, humor is an anesthesia to get deeper things into a person's soul.
Yeah.
Period. And I am intense by nature, which I don't really like to be. Just one-on-one, I'm pretty intense. But I think part of that is my personality. But my biological dad, who got saved later in life, he got a lot more loving and jovial, but I seen him, he was just fearless. He was a bouncer for years, so he didn't fear anybody. And but when he became a Christian, I never forget, we pulled up to a 7-Eleven. It was in California. It's actually in Vista.
Okay.
Vista North, a little bit, Carlsbad. So we're walking in. I don't know what we're doing, and this guy's walking out. Big old boy. He's carrying an 8-pack beer, and he's walking out. My dad goes, "Hey!" my dad was funny, man. My biological dad, he was funny. Like, no social cues, boundaries.
Yeah.
Just, he goes, "Can you fight?" And I'm like, oh, no.
You want to test him out?
Yeah, I'm like,
you're a big dude.
What are you? Yeah, he said, "You a big old boy. Can you fight?" The guy puts his 8-pack down on the hood of his truck. He goes,
"It's a joke."
He goes, "I can fight good enough to whoop you, old man." And he goes, "Well, I'm not talking about you whooping me. You look like you could do a pretty good job." What he didn't know, my dad could have swept him, knocked him out, choked him out.
Yeah.
My dad was an 8th-degree black belt, first black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu, bounced for 27 years, won the national championships at 50-something years old. Yes, yeah.
Dangerous man.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't heard that. I didn't know that that's maybe where the
martial arts
came from.
Definitely. He was a boxer, 133 fights, 127 wins. He was raised in a boys' home, St. John Bosco's. So he could flat get it. But, and maybe that's what gave him
the confidence to
just
blurt it out.
Because it's like me. I'm like, the worst you can do is whoop me.
Yeah.
But, you know, after you throw a few punches,
no, I doubt that.
It's gonna get your feelings hurt. But this was the greatest thing. The guy goes, "What?" You know, he puts it. He goes, "No, not me. I'm just an old man."
Yeah.
He goes, "I want to know, can you fight?" He goes, "I can fight good enough." He goes, "Can you whoop a demon?"
Oh, wow.
And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Can you whoop a demon, son? Because apart from Jesus Christ and a relationship with him, you're going to spend eternity in hell fighting demons. And I don't want that for you." Wow. That guy's eyes started getting moist. I'm like, oh my gosh. And the guy's like, "Why are you telling me this?" He goes, "Because I love you. God loves you. I feel love for you. You look like a tough dude, and that's how I've been all my life. But you got to get your life. You got to give your life to Jesus. You got to follow him. I don't want you fighting demons because you can't. None of us can." Hey, you know what that big old dude says? "Thank you." Because nobody ever talks to me about stuff like that because they're scared of me. I think my dad mumbles something like, "Well, they should be, but but I love you." The guy thanked him. So that's the boldness, I think, that comes from the power of God's Spirit. And then the love of God, that we care for people enough to just risk being hit. I've told my wife, I said, one day I'm gonna get punched pretty good. I said,
you go around poking at people.
I do. From the stage on the subject. There are times I talk about, purity and whatnot, and I mean, everywhere I'll be like, hey, gals, you're the one that control it. Yeah. You control all of it. Cut that dude off. Why should he get the milk free if he ain't gonna buy the cow? Mm-hmm. I'm saying in a nice way, but there's nothing for him to hunt for if he's and so just kind of, and like everything up until that point is funny, and then it gets really, I said, make him respect you and honor you, and put a ring on your finger and all that. And then the guys are like this,
tensing up,
and I go, I know I'm pissing some of you off, so I just go, don't come up to me afterwards talking smack or take a swing, because I'm the guy that will swing back, and then it kind of lightens it, but truth is going to be offensive. And I've lived my life in a way where I kind of expect to probably be killed. I mean, when you're rescuing girls or children or going into combat areas for the gospel's sake, I went into Mosul one time during fighting to deliver milk and water and diapers. They started calling me the milkman of Mosul for a season.
The what?
Milkman of Mosul, because I was just bringing powdered milk, and because kids are stuck behind enemy lines and families. And I mean, at that point I accepted, well, Lord, I might be killed or injured, but I'm doing it for the cause of Christ. So that I'm good with, because I don't want to die or get hurt. But when you kind of accept that, then you move. And I mean, love is what motivates us, but it casts out all fear. Fear is just a tormentor. And I've seen it. I've seen it, people who were tier 1 level operators, but wouldn't be on my teams because we didn't have everything. We didn't have
like what, like equipment wise, or what?
Everything. Like we did a thing in Haiti, and we had to protect an orphanage. It's a pretty bad situation, and some people.
So who are you protecting them from? Like
gangs.
Okay, got it. I'm not that familiar.
Yeah, that was Haiti's upside down, corrupt government, and armed people. There were gangs that all came together, and actually some of them aren't that bad, honestly, compared to some of the government officials. As the head of the gangs, named Barbecue Jimmy, told me, he goes, "Why do you think gangs exist? It's the corruption in Haiti." Wow. And some of the wealthiest people, the ones who funded us to do their bidding. But it was interesting because some of the highly trained, highly skilled guys, without the power and the trust of God, I remember one fellow, I mean, he was all in till I started getting the details, and he's like, well,
wait, doesn't sound safe.
What's our exfil? How much ammo do we have? I'm like, he goes, here's our QRF, our quick reaction force, come get us. I go, bro, we hit. Yeah. It's us. Yeah. What if we run out of ammo? I said, if we run out of ammo, then our barrels are so damn hot, we're going to just poke the bad people in the eyeballs. That ought to send them back a little bit. Yeah. Well, how do we get out? I said, well, there's a lake, got to swim across. Man, you're an accomplished swimmer. Yeah. You got all that? I said, I may have to blow up some little orange floaties just to get across there. But I said, man, we're willing to die for the kids. And he goes, I'm not. And I said, nothing bad on you. It's just not a fit. Mm-hmm. You're a professional operator. I'm a high-risk missionary. Wow. There's a difference. And some things we do the same, but most of my stuff is the power of God.
Yeah, well, there's a story where you shared where you had to borrow faith from your bride because I think that they weren't letting you inside the Iraqi line, and you weren't going to be able to take certain weapons, something along those lines. And you're like, are you? She hit you with something that you were like, oh, really? Like right now?
No, that's her. We were trying to cross over into Syria from Iraq. Yeah. And then we'd have to sneak back into Iraq. People think coming from Mexico is hard. Try sneaking into Iraq from Syria. Yeah. I'm like, and So yeah, I mean, the crossover, the Syrian intelligence group, they're like, ISIS is everywhere. You cannot bring your armored vehicles or your weapons. I'm like, ooh, my team like, that's a deal killer, boss. I'm like, but we had stuff to get into an ISIS confinement camp.
And how many kids were in there?
5,000.
You see, that's crazy.
Actually, there were more. It was 72,000 women and children. We had enough. It was one of the main things we were delivering, line of lambs, but my testimony in comic book form, in Arabic.
With all your info there.
You were gonna deliver it.
All of that. I had no idea until we're in there. We make it across because my wife's like, we'll never have the chance again. Let's do it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And as soon as we crossed over, you're tense because now you're on the other side of the river. And all I had was a tomahawk and my dog. And I had my team, but nobody's armed. And which, if you got to get into a scuffle, if you're shooting and hacking, things have gone really bad. The best operations are you never have to fire. Yeah, just do your deal, get in and out, smooth, pay, you know. I mean, we just had an operation getting 5 orphans.
I thought you weren't doing operations anymore.
Well, our teams are active.
Okay, got it.
We're still active around the world. We still rescue and hunt bad people to stop them from hurting anymore. So it's all legal, mainly. So 5 kids. Here's a great. I mean, we planned it for months and months, and we rescued these kids. They're all siblings, little to I think 19 or 20. 2 of the kids were born inside an ISIS facility. And man, when we execute, I can say it's been enough time because we always are careful on our field craft and trade that because we're still operational in places. But we got them, completely wiped out all their information on any and all systems, so they don't exist. We get to the border, all these checkpoints, sneaking, get the border. My TL gets a call, and he called me. It's like, hey, we had prearranged to get through a certain checkpoint to get these kids across. And when the guy thought it was 5 kids, he asked for more money. And it was a brick of money. And they go, do you want us to just shoot him and push through? I was like, and the reality is the checkpoint you're at and cameras, and it's going to cause more problems. I said, I'll wire the money, pay him. So we did. And then they went back and shot him. No, I'm joking. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know all the details as I'm talking in a deposition. No, it's but the one thing about overseas, like anywhere, you make a deal with somebody and you hem somebody up, especially when it comes time for kids, people will die. Because those kids, had we not got them across, the reality is hard. And it's a hard reality because they had no more identification. They would have been captured again and then spread out. You know, the girls would have been sex slaves, boys turned into either conscript for ISIS or, you know, we just deal with real life stuff. And it's easy for Christians back here to think how they would make decisions.
Yeah.
But it's different when it's their souls.
Well, I even think about, you know, just hearing you share that story and how there was no external, you know, weapons that you had. Like, so your biggest weapon was faith. And for many of us, man, we've never been in situations where our only weapon or exit is faith. Like, we've never had to land. Like, I haven't personally, ever had to just trust my entire 100% exit on faith. Like, we've always had a way out or a weapon to fall back on, external factors, right? Like, what are some of the things that, like, that type of situation
or a story or a story where
well, here's what I would say. Everybody wants, because really what you're saying is, will I be able to do it in that moment? This is the best advice I can give is just be obedient in the very small things. It's the little things of faith. Trust, obedience, trust, obedience. And obedience doesn't mean success. Sometimes it means black eye. That guy betrayed me. Business deal that went wrong. The Lord's going, but what I tell you.
You guys had to sell your house. So you sold your house once, and then I think you were struggling for a bit, and then you trusted God with. And then you know.
Here's the deal: the pursuit can't be money for the sake of money. In the last 6 months, I've had several husband and wives sitting at our table here in Colorado. One couple, he's getting emotional, and we talked through some things. He wants to help the ministry and whatnot. But what he was wanting to do, I didn't want to accept his money. I was like, what you want to be done, that's not what I do.
Yeah.
You watch a movie and you know.
Yeah.
I said, but we do the real stuff. So, I don't want to. And then I've had just in the last 6 months, several billionaires sitting at my table. Success, one couple is so funny because I like to get to know people and they know I'm not after their money.
Yeah.
I'm like, if God puts it on your heart, I've turned money down.
Yeah.
Which has got to be part of a businessman's strategy and trust and obedience. But he goes, we own a chemical company and started in Germany and came here after us. I'm not interested. I'm like, well, what? Make some glue, paint. Have I sniffed anything before? And he's like, have you heard of plexiglass? I'm like, oh yeah. Well, I'm thinking, did y'all create a resin? He goes, no, we invented it.
Wow.
You invented plexiglass? He goes, and then a salt company, their little blue Morton salt. He goes, it's actually a chemical company. We bought that. Another guy sitting down, he goes, oh yeah, we developed spy satellites in the beginning against Russia and da-da-da. And then, they did all the tracking for JSOC. And so it's their satellite systems that are, you got the... And I go, you got any civilian applications? And this is so funny. He goes, have you heard of Google Earth? I go, I have. He goes, that's ours. We invented it.
Wow. No way.
Now y'all getting the picture?
Yeah.
That's why, it's these type of men and women who reach that level of success. They want to pour into young men. And they want to be able to say, well, glean for me. And money can't be the ultimate goal.
So our conference is attracting entrepreneurs, business-minded people. And what I'm sure a lot of them are eyeballing and what their target is money. Which is why a lot of them might have never heard of you. And that's why it's like my treat for
it'll be a good fit.
To make sure that they don't lose sight of what's most important.
Look, I deal with the top 1%ers in the world.
Yeah.
It's just I mentor 1% or sometimes 1% of 1%ers. And the thing I learned over the years is, and they'll all tell you, money won't make you happy. A lot of times, the money, I would ask men, at what age did you realize the money you were bringing in was far beyond your ability? It was way bigger than you. Every one of them. Oh my gosh, yeah. Which means it's just God's favor, Amen. Or the enemies. Wow. I sat with a guy, he had 30-something vehicles. They were all Testarossas, Porsche, all painted a certain color. He designed a certain color that nobody else could have. I mean, wealth. Yeah, I walked in his house and said, this looks like a cartel home. Because he's all these photo pictures. I'm like, this is all stuff you can turn quick.
That's funny.
Back up and my wife says, you say things people can't get away with.
That's so funny.
And but I remember I'm just talking with him and he's like, and it was a very interesting point regarding wealth. He was a baseball collector. And he had Yogi Berra, all the greats. And I said, you know, when I was a little kid, middle school, I worked a summer at a little baseball park. And it wasn't major league, it was minor. And I'd never forget, you know, I'm selling stuff, Cokes or peanuts, whatever. And then I took a break. And boom, they hit a foul ball. I ran. It was in the parking lot. Climbed underneath the fence, went and found it. I was like, oh, got me a ball. Then they announced there was a special guest up in the booth, someone named Willie Mays, who was Hall of Famer, unbelievable, legendary guy. And everybody was talking, oh, Willie Mays is here. Willie Mays. I was like, oh. Who's Willie Mays? They're like, oh, no, he's one of the greatest baseball players in the history of the game. So by myself, I walk up, find the booth, knock on that side door, and open. Some guy goes, what do you want, kid? I said, is Mr. Mays here? He goes, why? I said, I got a ball. I got in the parking lot. Could he sign it? And he starts laughing like, what a ballsy little kid. He goes, hang on, shuts the door, and then opens up. It's Willie Mays.
Wow.
Yeah, and he goes, hello, young fella. I said, and my first thing was like, wow, you're black.
You told him?
No, but I was thinking, I'm like, my eyes had because I was thinking of Yogi Bear. I didn't know baseball players. I'm not into athletes. And I was just, one person, Yogi Bear, you know, and this is some white old dude. It was a black strapping dude. I was like, what? And he looked at me, can I help you? I go, oh, yeah, could you sign this ball? He signed it. And I remember going, wow, he took the time to sign that. This is the most treasured. I felt so good because a legend took time. He didn't have to do that. Signed it for me. And, you know, it was like a year later. I'm at my house. Again, no dad. I'm 7th grade. I'm going to start baseball now. Little League. And I'm practicing out, and, you know, I want to practice. I'm in my yard, and my neighbor comes out. A guy goes, hey, you want me to throw with you? I was like, yeah. He goes, you got a ball? I said, yeah, let me get it. I go in, I grab the only ball I have. We're throwing it back and forth, grounders, everything. And I'm so excited that this man is taking time to throw the ball. Yeah, I feel, oh. And then at one point he goes,
he read it.
what? Is this signed?
Yeah.
I go, yes. Willie Mays signed it. And he looked at me like, you're dumber than a bag of rocks, boy. And he goes, you shouldn't be playing with this. And because it was starting to rub off pretty bad.
Yeah.
I said, oh, but he signed it. He goes, okay, but let's try to get you another ball. When I told this wealthy fellow that, he goes, do you know that he told me if I would have still had the ball, because I didn't. He goes, that's worth a couple $100,000. He goes, the most expensive ball was one that was signed by a couple of players, like and was played with by kids. So it's partially, he goes, that is the most expensive ball on earth. So, I mean, that just says that when a young man has someone else take time, sometimes it's just a moment, signing a ball, but that's a course correction. He built value in me by taking time. Mm-hmm. And also, that's one of the reasons why I could never be prejudiced. I'm like, again, I don't get the racist deal. And then my neighbor. And this man got choked up, I was telling, because he goes, the value for you was someone investing in you, not the ball. He goes, wow. I go, to this day. So, yeah, it can't, we're competitive. I know people, their main goal is to make as much money as they can in order to give as much money as they can away.
Yeah.
That's and that's what I'd say. Your motives have to be pure. Again, I've sat with billionaire families, like billionaires on both sides, husband and wife. Yeah. They're on a limited budget. He was looking at my truck. He was like, it's a nice truck. I was like, You want it? You can have it. You can buy 10 of them.
Yeah.
He goes, if you ever sell it, let me know.
Wow.
And then I went up to their ranch, and he's driving this old beater.
Wow.
It was the funniest thing. So that's the last thing I'll say about wealth and success. You know, I think we have a couple of million followers on social media. My Gun to Storm videos, over 1 billion views. I mean, what people think notoriety or celebrity, whatever that being known is, it's not. Mm-hmm. It's just responsibility. And whatever people think having wealth and accumulating wealth, it's responsibility. Mm-hmm. The key is to find freedom in both of them through Christ, that you're just listening and obeying him. And if you entrust wealth to you, yeah, but you never sacrifice your family for it. Sometimes there are sacrifices that have to be made.
Yeah. For certain seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, seasons of
just like a guy's got to be deployed overseas.
Yeah.
It's like family, this is going to suck.
Yeah, that's why I think it's even the mentor that you shared. I don't remember his name.
Dr. James Dobson.
Those topics are so important.
Yeah.
And what we don't want are people, the audience, anybody that's following all these influencers, business gurus on social media is for them to obsess about growing their business, chasing money, where they neglect their home, their kids, and never establish a relationship with God.
And that's the key word. Nothing can be done in this world without one word: relationship. Relationship. None of us does it right. I sure hadn't. But that's what's there. You know, we just buried my mother-in-law, 91 years old. Dr. Dobson, here's a man who has affected millions and millions. And yet, I'm talking to a group of young men that never heard of him. So fame is fleeting, and fans are fickle. If you're doing good, fans will love you. If you're not, and if I do accept this run for governor, we're going to find out. Because when the heat comes on, people are like, ooh. But the joy is in knowing that you loved people well, and they know it. They know it. It's like kids. And I'll say this. A lot of men and women fall into the trap of going, well, I want to have more than I did for my kids. Okay, but depending on what season, because kids don't need 60 gifts for a birthday. Yeah. If they're little, give them a piece of Tupperware and you'll find out how fun things are. A lot of times, that sense of entitlement, where kids are opening one gift, another, they're not even going to play with them all. And what have we done? We've created that sense of, give me, I want now. And then it's the same thing for us. How many tennis shoes? Y'all's generation, I'm like, how many tennis shoes do y'all need? I remember walking into Kevin's house. He's a pro player, but I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I grew up with one pair of tennis shoes. He goes, well, I'm sponsored. And then I understand after I wore some Yeezys, I was like, man, this thing's kind of feel good. I ain't going to lie. But again, so people will make an excuse. Like I had a fella, me and my bride, we're going to visit him for the first time, and he's done pretty well. And he's like, we're driving, we got 30 minutes. He goes, hey, my boat's ready, the captain's ready. I want y'all are welcome to stay on there. I said, oh man, I appreciate that. I said, we'll probably just stay in a hotel. He calls back, well, no, the captain's ready, and everything's set for y'all. I said, I appreciate it. That sounds kind of cool, but
you like your space.
Yeah. And he goes, it's not a boat, it's a ship. It's like, I don't know, whatever, like helicopters can land on it. No, yeah. And I go, he goes, there's a captain, a chef, there's a crew. Everybody's waiting for you.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. That's why it makes it a little more difficult to say no. He goes, why? I said, I don't know you. I want to just shoot it straight. Brother, I don't know if that ship is bugged, cameras. I don't know if y'all going to put something in us to take us out. I said, you don't know the world I'm in. You want to get to know it, here's the first step. I'm not going to put myself in a position to be vulnerable for anyone.
So good.
That's really good. And I'd love to hear more of whatever the biggest lessons are from God's called you to do, the missions, you exploring different places of the world. Yeah. What are some of those lessons that being one of them?
Yeah. Well, I'd say don't fear man.
Okay.
The fear of man is a snare. And be very, very careful for groupthink.
Oh, for groupthink?
Groupthink.
Okay, so like what the masses are.
Yeah, or even small. We're here, and you know, you give me a knife, and I'm like, oh, this knife sucks. This is a piece of crap. And
is that what?
Yeah. Now that I just say it, he's throwing it away right now. No, that's probably a bad example, but it's when you will withhold the truth when it should be said because of group thing.
Okay, got it.
And it's happened against me a ton of time. I'll give you a great example. This is a much better example. By the way, I actually love that knife. I'm thinking my wife's going with that thing. Is I pray for people. The greatest thing I do is called the retooling prayer.
The what?
Greatest thing that I do in ministry or my life, apart from leading someone to Christ, is called a retooling prayer.
Retooling prayer.
And I'm going to pray for both of y'all before we leave.
I would love that. I would love that.
This is the money, bro. Let me tell you, this changes everything. I prayed for a billionaire yesterday, and I prayed for a top tier operator yesterday. Both men, man, just in tears. Separately, different times of the day, boom. The retooling prayer, I have a film called The Unseen War, which I recommend everybody watch. Unseen War. And the retooling prayer, God has given me a gift to be able to find out if you have specific demons or a demon that studies and stalks you. And if you do, I make them talk and then we destroy them. It's fast, too. 5-10 minutes is what we do. But the freedom you get, oh my gosh. So everything I do, pedophile hunter, actually crushing demons is one of the greatest things I do for people. And you'll see why in a minute. But groupthink, I prayed for a pastor. Dude got set free. He was suicidal.
Wow.
You know, he's just like, oh my gosh, and I realized this is a demon. I prayed for a lot of pastors who are suicidal. And because they get isolated and all that, they get set free. And then I just say, don't get scared. When you get back around your boys, other pastors, if they're like, oh, well, I don't know about that, you know, don't have the courage to say, I got set free. It was Christ. I don't understand all, but I'm free. You should, right? I've seen men just fold. Oh, well, yeah, maybe. I don't. That's groupthink. Instead of just standing and saying the right thing. I had a guy text me yesterday, a pastor, big church. He's like, hey, I saw somebody on Sean Ryan, a guest, and I know you know Sean, and maybe you should just tell him, because that guy, and he just, I said, did you watch the whole episode, and have you watched the guy's film? Do both of those and give me a list of concerns, then I'll see about presenting them to Sean. And if you want to set up a podcast, separate, I'll have you on my show, the guy that you're not liking, and y'all can go over those things. We'll put it on air. He responds back, you're a busy man. I appreciate what you do. I'm like, shut up. Dude, you just wasted my time. Called belly aching, wanted me to do your dirty work. Well, you hadn't even done your homework. So speak straight, have the courage, because you can always tell the truth. Now, there's appropriate times. If I didn't like the knife, it'd be dumb. This is crap. That's not what I'm talking about. You're always a gentleman, gracious. But there are just times just to go. Had I not done that, had I not got the courage from God and conviction, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would be way back in mediocrity. So I just trusted God. Second thing is you're going to get knocked down. I've only been in a few fights where I didn't get hit. But I have taken my shares, like sparring. I've been in probably over 3,000 rounds of sparring, and my nose proves it. I had a guy tell me one time, he goes, this big old dude, he was like, you don't look like no good fighter. I said, I didn't say I was good. I said, but I've been hit plenty. And then he's like, oh, crap, what the heck? I was like, I've been paid to get hit. He rethought his position. And just, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Just get back up. Don't be shocked. You're going to get hit. You're going to get the air knocked out of you. And when that happens, depression can come, oppression, the enemy will just, And so I tell men, what you crave more than anything is a sense of control. I got to get control on this situation. And out of desperation, men will grab a grenade. And I say, well, okay, I grab the grenade a lot. Just don't pull the pin. Because if you pull the pin, it's way easy to go click. And the click, boom, is you kill yourself, you cheat, you road rage, you end up in jail, whatever. You throttle somebody, and it's like not worth it. So I tell men, if you got to grab that grenade, grab it. You're in control. You are in, God's giving you full control of everything. Some, they just want to put their finger in there. Some want to pull it, and I've talked to them. I've said, okay, you got the pin out. Go ahead and put it back in. Just, dude, put it back in. I've had guys ready to kill themselves or others. And again, it's like, don't give up. Get back up. And this, like, I'm the expert at hard times, right? But most people who get to a level of success, they're not able to enjoy it. That's what I started seeing when I was working with athletes, celebrities, billionaires, generals in the Pentagon to Delta operators and SEALs. That's the struggle. And here's the last thing for today. I'll say something for the conference. Is a man's gifts and talents can take you to a place, even your skills, where your character can't sustain you.
Wow. That's deep.
And our culture says gifts, talents, skills, character, what the hell? But it's like, it's like putting a jet engine in a Volkswagen. It's like, yeah, if you ain't got the frame, you're going to self-destruct. And I see it. I've seen it. So that's one of my encouragements is like, go for it. Throttle, live life. Don't be afraid. Love good. And for guys who are married, you got to love your bride the way she needs to be loved. Tell man, don't be selfish in the bed. There's a book called She Comes First. Literally. Because women know when you're just, it's just about you.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I say, no. And my best advice for that, because, especially a young man, you'll be wanting to be close with your bride. I learned early on, because I can't stand rejection. You take it personal. It's like, hey, I have a headache. Whatever that is. I've never heard that one. But this is what I've done to keep my brain straight and my heart okay. Before I start to make my move, I pray, Lord, if that's your will, let us be close, because, you know, and then
That was in the course.
okay, yes, it has saved my bacon, because there were times I would just be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but she would take care of the kids for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's like, what you expect me to be your
energy.
your sex kitten right now? Give me a break. I'm not in that space. I don't, and I'll tell you, if a man keeps it focused on serving his bride, not himself, man, you'll be loved up. My wife says it. She's like, when my man goes on a trip, she goes, our whole existence, before he'd be taken off to go somewhere, she goes, I love him up. I love him up good. She's like, I don't want him thinking about no one else but me.
I would say, Victor, because I promised my 12-year-old son that went to go see Emerge, and I was like, what question would you want to ask Victor? And he said, how did the disarm thing start? That was his question too.
That's the right question.
And we're going to come back to the verse when I get it back.
That's the right question. I actually get excited when people ask me that, because I go, they're thinking beyond the technique. It started because I was 7 years old, sitting in a chair, and my stepfather put a pistol to my head, pulled the hammer back, and he would start tapping it to my head on my left side. And he would say, boy, if you ever tell anybody what I've done, I'll blow your brains out. And I'll just tell the police you found my pistol and shot yourself accidentally. And as a little kid at 7 years old, I purposed in my mind, one day I will be so fast that if anybody ever puts a gun close to me, I'll get it from them. And that's how it started. Yeah. No, what I can tell you is a lot of the 1%ers in the world, they either come from a very solid background. Yeah. Little Johnny, you can do it. Or a horrible dysfunction. And the deal is, one person excels because they're led. Mm-hmm. It's hard work. The others, like me, you become driven. Mm-hmm. And when you don't know how to off-ramp the drivenness, you'll lose everything, because that's all you want to do. Mm-hmm. And that's where the grace of God comes in, because your identity starts getting hid in what you do. I've got friends, I got colleagues. I was talking with one the other day. He's like, oh yeah, when you shoot somebody in the eye with a 22 with a silencer, sometimes it ricochets around, but you got to boom, boom. And I mean, they're like serial killers, but they were paid, for it. And they only killed monsters. My guys, only monsters.
Yeah, because that becomes an interesting mix of how does a Christian man balance that part.
Yeah, I mean, my head of security had a lot of time in combat. And when he came to faith, he was like, killing, it says I'm not supposed to murder. And I said, well, you're not. But murder and killing are two different things. Mm-hmm. Murder is a nefarious act to take the life of somebody, regardless of anything. Your killing is, you may be obligated by responsibility to stop the manifestation of evil of being carried out. And people would say, we saw you in an AK, you're a missionary. I go, well, I'm not a good one because I don't have your faith. Mm-hmm. But if someone's trying to kill me and I'm transporting a little kid, I'm going to kill them. I'm not going to murder them, but I'm going to kill them dead, because I have a greater responsibility to protect innocence. And that's where Christian men, you got to be careful. There's a hidden agenda within a lot of churches, not y'all's. That's a solid church, or Jurgen. But just in Christianity, it's like, be nice. Be nice. I'm like, but I'm not nice. I'm not a nice guy.
Kind.
I'm kind. Mm-hmm. Kind, you're going to do the right thing because it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so So yeah, that's a great question.
So I got my question back. Again, just recently married, and in our culture, Latinos, if we protect and provide, we're doing our job as men. So
that's such a good question.
So what would you share with
Okay,
us?
I can only share because, man, that's the Latino in me.
Yeah, the machista
Oh
comes out in our
gosh,
people.
I just wrote a letter to my children maybe 3 months ago, and I said, I want to apologize to each of you because I thought protecting and providing was the same as loving, and it's not. So this is what I have to say. Ugh. And I'm 60. I learned this late in life. Provision, like providing and protecting, is what comes most natural. I mean, men, real men, will want to do that even more than procreate. Those are the 3 Ps. Or practice procreating. And I'm serious. There's no way you can have incredible intimacy with your wife if you're about to be evicted.
Yeah.
You think she's just going to be loving all over you? Go, wait, we're going to be homeless in a tent? This will be fun. No, protecting and providing. Some dude slaps your wife's butt, pulls her hair, slaps your kid. You don't do anything. You think you're going to go home and get great nookie? You're out of your mind. She's going to be looking at you like, yeah, not a chance. So I thought protecting and providing was the highest form of love. It's not. Our children and wives look at that not as love, the highest form of love. They looked at as a responsibility. Procreation is just Funville, although there's so much to it, right? So it's beautiful. Intimacy with your children, loving them and your wife has to be according to what they need.
How they want to be loved.
How they want to be loved. That's the secret. That's the hard part. But if young men start factoring that in, like sexual intimacy with your bride, guess what? Maybe it's snuggling and a back rub. And for her, that's what she needs. You have to just have the wherewithal to say, I'm not a dog. I have control. And trust me, you ministering to their needs, the payoff is natural.
Yeah.
It's not hidden, but it's natural. Yeah. With your children, depending on their age, is like, I was really good. I was really a good dad when they're tiny and they're small, playing, because I can protect all the. Once they get a little older and start like,
yeah.
Then I was like, oh.
You become the enemy because you're putting restrictions?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, well.
Government?
Travel on your own.
Yeah.
I'm 9, Dad. And that's part of my background. I'm like, moment you start shooing me off, you enjoy that, I was like, hey, you can't. They're 11. Yeah. So, but what I found is you get the challenge to find the key to each of their hearts. Yeah. And that's it.
So cool.
And it's, some kids need time one-on-one. My son, the 20-year-old, as a little bitty boy, my injuries and all this, I would sit in just hot tubs, just hot as I could, just trying to, and he would come in, just even with a diaper.
You want to hang out with you?
Just hang out. Sit down right next to me. Hey, Dad. I'm like, hey. He goes, how was your day? And I'm like, yeah, it was good. And because I didn't know.
You weren't conscious of it.
No, I didn't know intimacy of just talking. Yeah. I never did that with I don't know. So it was very difficult. And he would just stay there and press. Yeah, I did this thing. Well, how did you feel? I'm like, that's a real question. Like, what do you mean how I felt? Is this therapy? God used that boy to help teach me how to actually communicate.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And then at the end, he'd be like, ask me how my day was.
He was guiding you through it?
Little bitty kid. He's still that way today.
That's awesome.
And he makes me kiss him. Come on, Dad. I'm like, and he kisses me on my cheek. I go, okay, I'm going to kiss you too. That's the affection, hug, kiss on the cheek he needs. And every kid is different.
Yeah.
And that's the joy of figuring out. Same with your wife. And I'm telling you, men go straight to intimacy, sexual intimacy, without just ministering to them, loving them with no, and then just throughout the day. If it's just don't make sexual intimacy a transaction. Make it relational.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I struggle with sometimes, Victor, because I'm a father. We have a blended family, 5 kids. I know you have 5 kids.
Yes.
With a beautiful bride. And at times, I struggle with remembering what it was like to be their age.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
give you an example.
Oh,
One time,
yeah.
I had a hard day at work. There was just business going on, work, and I picked up my daughter from high school. And she was venting to me about this one friend that
Right.
It's like high school gossip, and I was in my mind I was like,
Get over it.
yeah, but I forget what it was like to be their age. And my wife always tells me, she's like, you can't be too hard on them because you got to remember at some point you were their age too, and so for me that's at times seems to be the biggest thing is like remembering what it was like to be their age.
What I'm gonna share with you gonna change everything. This big gold nugget, big one. Relationships with your children is like, man, it ends up as they grow, get older and older. It's not going to be a ton of face-to-face because once they start getting their friends, and that whole process they start pulling away.
Yeah.
It's like a drive-through. You're going through in and out, and they're working on the inside. When they open that window, hey, Dad, man, today sucked. These people, cars are stacked behind you, and all you can do is like turn everything off and stay with them right there, because very quickly
They're gonna
have a great day.
wow.
So yeah,
That's great.
And then so when they open that window, I was speaking one time, speaking on a stage. I got a call. I'm like,
1 second.
I did. I'm like, hey, hang on a second. Hey, yeah, I'm speaking right now. No, it's okay. What's going on? Oh, you're good. Okay, we'll talk. Right.
But that's when you got your priorities straight.
yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah.
because my deal is I cannot be bought.
Yeah.
I can be rented, but I cannot be bought. And your kids know. I was loading up to our house was in complete disarray. We had 3 teenagers in our home at one time. There's girls, and 3 teens. It was just chaos. Anyway, I had a big speaking event. I got my bag. And it's hell. I just went, picked on the phone. I'm not going. My guy's like, wait, you got it. I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. Return everything. My sincerest apologies. My family comes first right now on this one. Of course, church never had me back. Piercing as a black guy for them. My kids and my wife started crying, sobbing. Like, are you serious? I go, yeah, I'm not leaving y'all. This is hell. I've only had to do that once or twice in my life. But I knew at that moment, if I walk out, I'm just telling them.
That's more important.
And they already think that anyway because of the time and effort you put in.
correct.
Yeah.
The perception is all that. That's why you're like, no, I do this for you. Mm-hmm. Well, then they're like, well, when do I get the payday? Mm-hmm. Look at his house.
No, they want the time.
Look at that.
And memories.
I'm telling you, it's way better. So that's why men have to be intellectually honest with themselves and women on what they want, what they're willing to do. Because, again, I work with the 1%ers. Our shooting instructor is the #1 shooter in the world. And he just says this. His name is Dan Horner. And he has a course.
Oh, what is it about?
It's the mental development of a successful endeavor. Daniel
Horner?
Horner, yep. And oh my gosh, yeah, his course, he's teaching it to some of the most elite
Really?
people in the world, but he made it available to go through, and it's the mindset of a true champion. Oh my gosh, he has some fancy name for it. I can't remember.
That works. Yeah, we got enough.
But
And
yeah.
it's so awesome that, and I'm done with Christian. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
But when we finished the Better Together course, you're also talking about Dave Ramsey's courses and just finances.
Yep.
You know, we went through everything, and it's awesome to see that. That's been you know, I don't know if you would call it a secret or a hack, but investing in yourselves, which is why we put these
Hacks.
conferences together. You know, and I'm loving the recommendations that you're giving us, because we're gonna eat them all up. Yeah.
And, you know, there's a saying that the student will appear. The master will appear when the student's ready. Yeah. And I'm telling you, that's who benefits when you guys are like hungry, because again, spit out the bones, but enjoy the meat, get the protein out of it. Where, man, people walked before can show you hacks of life. I'm like, how do I do this better? How can I get more return with less effort? You know, because that way my life's not spun up in just one thing. How do I survive this? How do I keep that from happening? And the Dangerous Gentleman Society, that is a growing brotherhood of. That's why I'm starting the podcast.
Let's end with that. What's
so
the mission behind it?
So the Dangerous Gentleman Society it started from my book, and it was just outpouring. A man contacted me, wanting to be mentored, and I prayed, and I was like, Lord. So I start with mass mentoring, which is a daily email, and it's a daily brief. It's like literally 3-4 minute read. You can meditate on it. But it's just, and I don't expect guys to read it every day, but it's there. You click on it. I got a text from the commanding officer of Delta. He goes, I'm loving these daily.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So one of my staff members who's worked for me 10 years, he's like, I'm loving this. So it's me being very intentional to just go, man, what things have helped me? And still do.
Yeah.
And I just, So that's the first one. Next, and it's coming out probably in about a week. It's a 13-week course.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on mentoring and discipleship.
Wow, that's gonna be good.
It's a good one.
Wow.
Because I just finished it and I'm like, ooh, this is good. And then from there, it's all, you have to work your way up.
Yeah.
Next one, Zoom calls, then groups, and then I'm going to put groups of men who are doing things with a mentor of someone who has done things.
Wow.
And then you can just, that's the way we're doing it. And then we'll have annual get-togethers and regionals, because the secret is a brotherhood, not a movement, but a brotherhood. Yeah, trust me. If we had the same ring or got a ink done, and oh, bro, that's my tribe. Oof.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
That's what men need, not the flaky stuff.
Yeah.
Not the how does it look? No, it's 2 a.m. I give you an example. One of our man, he called me. He said, my son went missing. He's 20-something up in Colorado. And my friend lives in another part of the country. He goes, man, he went on a hike. He's not showing up. Within 30 minutes, I had a team ready. Wow. We had a helicopter on standby. I was going to have horses. And he's like, I knew I could count on you.
Wow.
And right before we deployed, dude comes out of the forest. And we scolded his butt because he didn't go in with good comms. He should have brought GPS, so it's a good lesson for him as a young man. Yeah. It's like, but that's, and it has to be local. It has to be in, and then, and this is part of it, we teach you how to argue and push through, disagree without pulling a pin on the grenade, and work through it and be better for it. And I give, I have very real examples of that, because you can't get by. But and it always just depends on the heart. I just told a guy the other day. I said, I called him. Let me see, where was I at? Yeah, I said, well, get ready. We're about to test our friendship.
You framed it.
Yes, I did. I said, get ready.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And we talked about all the hard things. We're better for it. Boom, moving forward. I said, man, I had to get that out.
Yeah.
Make sure, because communication and relationship matter. But that's why I always say, well, we're about to find our relationship out. And I'm like, oh. So I've enjoyed being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Y'all are some solid men, which puts
It's an honor.
wind in my sail and fuel in my tank, man, because this is what you enjoy later in life, giving back. Because I've won, but I'm not out of the fight. If God calls me to run for governor, that'll be a good one. And but yeah, raising up men, that's the best thing I can do in my life as a force multiplier. And boy, we got thousands already. We haven't even seriously launched it. So that's it from me.
We'll wrap it up. Where do you want our people to follow you? Where can they? Where's the best place to connect with you?
Well, anywhere on social media, you're going to find Victor Marx. That's Marx with an X. My main website is victormarx.com. And then you can look up dangerousgentlemensociety.com.
Thank you so much for your time.
Man, it's an honor for me. Appreciate y'all
Thank you.
a ton.
Yeah, it was